What's up, guys? So I'm a bit late to this news, but late is better than never. Plus, we do have some kind of exciting stuff to talk about when FX chairman John Landgraf is sharing approximate release dates for some of their biggest content. Chief among them is American Horror Stories, the spinoff of American Horror Story that's going to be airing on Hulu for everybody in the United States, or probably if you're overseas where you watch other FX shows or American Horror Story, it's probably going to be airing there because Hulu is just not an international streaming service like Netflix or any of the other ones. And even if you have it, it's not guaranteed that they have the same quality content across the ocean or just general borders. With that being said, we do have an approximate release date for American Horror Stories as well as Season 10 of American Horror Story, the former of which will be airing sometime in July, while American Horror Story Season 10 is going to be airing in August. And that's just a general speculation that people seem to be throwing out there because what Landgraf said is that it's going to be finishing the season on Halloween of 2021. Going back just a little further before we cover Season 10 of American Horror Story double feature, it's worth remembering that American Horror Stories is going to be a spin-off that's going to be dealing with one-off episodes instead of a series-like anthology format. The interesting thing about that for me is that American Horror Story double feature, the 10th season, seems to be going back to Murder House or Season 8 of Apocalypse, as a recent set photo did seem to indicate that Evan Peters is going to be playing Tate from those two particular seasons. The reason that's kind of strange to me is that American Horror Story seems like kind of the perfect iteration of this universe to just kind of generally explore characters, narratives, and just ideas that didn't particularly mesh with the story that was trying to be told in that particular season. So the idea of going back to Murder House or any other location from any of the other seasons can be covered in one episode, and we don't have to waste time in a brand new season going over characters that we love anymore. I do remember when I was covering it liking American Horror Story Apocalypse, but even in my own ranking video, I would put it a little bit on the shorter end when it comes to the overall quality of each individual season. The reason for that is even though I love the interconnectivity of the American Horror Story universe, the reason for that is having your story go from one connective tissue from one season to another, even if just for one episode ends up stalling the proceedings, and regardless of how entertaining the episode is, it can basically feel like filler. Another reason I feel like Tate should show up for American Horror Stories and not double feature is because one of the only things that we know about this upcoming season is that it was predominantly filmed in the East Coast. And for everything that we know about Tate and his character, he is bound to Murder House over in the West Coast in Los Angeles. Now, I know double feature is supposed to be two halves of one story, and each individual part of the season is going to be its own thing, but I can't be the only one who finds it a little bit disappointing that we might be going all the way back to Los Angeles when we had an opportunity to explore a little bit more of this universe instead of going to a place that we've been countless times before. Anyway, I am sure that we can talk about all of this stuff for the foreseeable future, as well as when these shows premiere. I'm going to be reviewing both of them on this channel, so make sure to like and subscribe. Hit that bell over by the subscriber button to notify you when those videos arrive if you like that content on this channel. And I hope everyone is having a fantastic day. As for what the future holds for this franchise, it looks like 2021 is going to be pretty awesome. We've speculated in the past that we're going to be getting 3 seasons, and kind of technically we are, because double feature is going to be 2 distinct stories. So that was kind of a win on our part. I'm going to take it. Anyway, I hope everyone's having a fantastic day. It's been real.